Thank you for giving me this opportunity. For next 15 minutes, I'll talk about finance and I'll talk about blockchain and Web3 space and how this is important and can transform your life. If you're a student, entrepreneur, investor, maybe passive income seeker, or somebody who just wants to explore technology, the next 15 minutes can be very crucial to you. So we have a lot of information on the screen, and you can always go back and learn about it, because there are a lot of facts and figures that are on the screen. So before coming to the point that why India will lead the blockchain space, we need to understand what is a blockchain space exactly. And we all are talking about it. We hear all the stories, news articles, and everything about blockchain space. What exactly is this, right? So consider blockchain like a digital ledger where you can just track your transactions or maybe a history of ownership, that who owns what and all this stuff, right? So this is the very basic of blockchain, and blockchain is coming up as the new internet. In the history, going back to the history of internet, we can see that internet started with a read-only system. That is, you can just read from the websites, you cannot interact with it. The new internet, the Web 2.0, was the internet where you can read and write the information. For example, in Facebook, YouTube, you can create content, you can post your content, or you can consume the content that is posted by others. The platform is just hosting it, right? In Web 3.0, that is the blockchain sphere, now we can read the information, we can write the information, and we can own the information. Why? Because now we have a digital ledger who can store all the entries and all the transactions that can happen on the internet. That's why it's so valuable, because now we all have digital assets, right? You must be using Demat accounts like Grow, or you are using your YouTube accounts, and you know that some of the YouTube accounts are worth billions of dollars. These are digital assets. So a complete ownership of these assets is very important, and which can only happen on the blockchain space. So it's the backbone of cryptocurrencies. We have all heard about Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the talks that are going around in the US economy these days, and President Trump talking about that how they can make a Bitcoin reserve for the US economy, and how they can transform the US economy with the Bitcoin. So it's powered by blockchain only, because it's a new asset. And the good thing about the space is everybody can join it. This is an open space. There are no hindrances, there are no stoppages, because there's no company, country, or anything that controls it. It's the common people. There are no providers. If you have an internet connection, you have a PC at home, you can contribute the network and you can own a part of it, right? So it's distributed, so nobody owns it. So why India is important? Now we all understand what is blockchain technology and how it works, why it's important, and why India can lead the way. It's very ironical, because we are not talking about blockchain. We are not talking about Bitcoin reserve. We don't have a mining space like Bhutan or China or any other country. How can we lead it? We can lead it through our heritage and all the information that we have in our genetics. For example, India is very obsessed with sovereign currencies. What is the oldest sovereign currency? It's gold, right? So India is very obsessed with gold, as we all know. We hold the largest number of gold reserves in the world. Indians hold 25,000 tons of gold, more than US reserves itself, which speaks about that we understand sovereign currency very well. Our RBI is increasing our gold reserves every year by almost 100 tons. And now we have a 854 ton total treasury of gold, and a lot of it has come back to India, right? So we have a great history with gold. Gold is part of our tradition, in our weddings, in our gifting culture. Gold is everywhere because we are obsessed with sovereign currency. Now, going back to time, why gold is so important? Because India was an unstable country. We had like a lot of wars, a lot of these kings and everybody tried to invade us, and with all the British rule. So we understood the concept of falling fiat currencies. That's why we are keen onto this gold and all the sovereign currencies. And ironically, Bitcoin is known as the digital gold. So once we'll understand the importance of digital gold, then we can replace it with our gold, and it can be a part of Indian tradition. our insane tech talent. I'm doing this talk in the engineering college, and so we have a huge tech talent. Approximately 5.4 million people are engaged in the tech-based services, and the space is growing like anything. And we are the leading in AI skill adoption, and the Gen AI training is happening in India at a massive scale because we have access to internet. I'll cover that later. And then at the same time, we are an English speaking country along with our own native languages, right? So it gives us an edge. STEM talent powerhouse. I don't have to talk about it. Standing in an educational institute, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which consists of STEM, is part of our tradition, and a lot of people are working towards it and learning towards it. We have 18 million people who are working in this space, and we graduate around 1 million people every year, who are good engineers and are ruling the tech space globally. Our obsession with community-driven initiatives. Now, the good part about blockchain is it's not owned by one individual or one company, as I've already told you. It's sovereign. That is, it is of no country, and any country can contribute towards it, right? So, since it's a community-driven initiative, the community-driven initiatives can be understood by our traditions, because India has historical roots of community events. For example, we have done this community development program, which was one of its kind, and it transformed 500,000 villages across India, which is a great number. And it was started in 1952 and still holds the record of the largest community event in the world, right? We have a lot of self-help groups. We have self-help groups, we have NGOs for skill development, for microfinancing, for entrepreneurship, and all of these spheres. This is a community event in itself. The community comes together, an NGO comes together just to help the community. So we understand the importance of community-driven initiatives. Urban community innovations that we have recently seen with Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is tremendous. Around 1.3 million people participated in the campaign just to clean our country, right? So these kind of initiatives tell us about that we have all of these things. And then we have our cultural emphasis on this with panchayats and everything, and we have a parallel government economy that is working around just to ensure a social discipline. So with Web3, there are a lot of Web3 projects run via DAOs. DAOs stand for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. As the name suggests, it's decentralization and autonomous. That is, a group of people or a community-driven initiative can run a company or a protocol which can earn billions of dollars, which indeed get distributed to all the community members. Accessibility to tech and internet. This is a great thing. Post 2016, we have seen a massive rise in the tech adoption of the country. We have access to very quality, cheap internet. A lot of people, around 886 million people in India, have access to mobile devices, and our data cost is very low. Ironically, when tech adoption happened in US, it was all for desktops and computers and laptops. When it happened at a later stage in India. So we are at an advantage that we are accessing internet via our mobile devices. So we are more connected, we have more accessibility. That's why we have services like Blinkit, which did not exist in the West, right? And they are doing a great job here, I believe. So we have all these infrastructure of tech and internet, which fuels the Web3. Web3 runs on the internet, right? You need internet and mobile devices to access it. You can earn via it mobile devices. You can play games, and then you can do all kind of stuff via this. Web3 can fulfill our economic incentives. Now, coming to the fact, 50% of our populations earn less than 198 rupees a day. We need economic incentives to run. We need to empower the bottom 50% of the country, and we need more of top 10% of the country, right? So Web3 can solve this. How? Because in Web3, again, it's not a sovereign state. We all understand that why people are moving abroad, because we have a pay parity, right? So they pay better, their hourly rates are better than India. That's why people want to migrate to foreign countries. But if you're working in a Web3, almost all the companies that I know in the Web3 space work give work from home jobs. It's a sovereign currency, so you can accept payments and then tokens in your wallet sitting anywhere in the world. Nobody will ask yours about the sovereignty, whether you are Indian or African or Philippine. You can get your incentives if as per the same rate as the US citizen will get. So the airdrops are good part of it. So airdrop works like if you're part of a protocol and you contribute towards it. So whenever that the protocol launches its token or coin, they distribute it among the masses, right? And there have been billions of dollars of distribution among airdrops. So people can do it. Next thing is very interesting, play to earn models. We all play mobile games. And blockchain-based mobile games can bring great incentives. A game called XI Infinity was very popular in Philippines. People played this game full time, 24/7, just to earn. And they were earning couple of $1,000s a month in 2021, which is a great number, right, for a country like Philippines. And it can happen in India as well, because we have that acumen, we have that IQ, we have access, we have everything. That's why once we start understanding that what is the impact of this, and we can actually earn via it, playing games, it can be good. So that's one of the thing. And then other thing is decentralized ownership boost incentive alignment. For example, as I've already told you, if you are contributing to a protocol or you are contributing to an application, decentralized application, then you get an ownership in return. That can be free NFTs, that can be free tokens, which can be monetized right away. You can just sell it to the market and then cash it out if you need money. That gives you a huge incentive. The last thing is thriving startup ecosystem. Our startup ecosystem is growing every day. We all watch the Shark Tank and all these shows, and the startup culture is growing very fast in India, right? So we have all these tech startups, and we have Zomato and Blinkit and Paytm who are revolutionizing the Indian tech industry. We need more of these startups which can be cutting edge technology and first of its kind. To do that, we have an opportunity in the Web3 space. We have projects like Polygon, which solved a big problem and created $1 billion company out of Chandigarh, right? And it's a big news, right? Because we Indians can do it. We just need to be more aware what's happening in the West and why West is talking about it. Because it's our chance. All the stars are aligned and we can go and achieve this. Robust funding landscape. There are billions of dollars that are ready to be deployed in the Web3 space. I know a lot of VCs. We have funded approximately 20 projects in last 18 months. And I can tell you that we have enough funding with us because I work with a Swiss-based company, right? But the problem is we don't have quality entrepreneurs who are working on a good idea whom we can fund. So it's a big thing. So the opportunity is here, the funding landscape is there, we just need to be aware and we have to build in this space. Blockchain Innovation Hub, we have I've already talked about Polygon and how Polygon has changed the landscape and is growing like anything. We have talent and unicorn search. Our talent is ruling the global space, and all the Googles and Microsoft are now run by Indians, and now we have their back offices in India who runs their own technology. We have that talent and the unicorns and the entrepreneurs are coming out of it. So think about it, read about it. I'll suggest you to give 10 to 15 minutes of your time daily to new and upcoming technologies, because you can incentivize yourself like anything, right? If you go and work in this space. And all of this information I gathered while working with various universities for last 18 months. I am running India expansion for a Swiss-based company, that is ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. We're expanding their base in India. We have worked with around 20,000 students in past 18 months. We have made close to 1,000 MVPs. We have taught around 10,000 blockchain developers. We have funded 20 projects out of that. We have conducted more than 30 mega hackathons, 200 university hackathons, and 5 major conferences in India in past 18 months. So I believe this is a big thing, and this is a big opportunity for all of you. Whether you are a technocrat, you are a student, you just need passive income, you are an investor, this can be a big space for you to make next thing out of it, and then you can contribute and India can lead its way in the blockchain technology. Thank you. That was my time.